You don't need to see that. That's fine. I will fix that later on anyway. Apologies for that, guys. I did not mean for that to happen, but that should be all fixed now anyway. So yeah, obviously a little bit disappointing in the lack of variety in the civilizations, but we have seen some really nice games so far this tournament, and especially the Slam versus Yo series. That was really fun to watch, and it was a lot of excitement in those games as well. So I'm hoping that this first game is going to be pretty good. Obviously, we all have our hopes up for these series, and well, when I downloaded this folder, I saw quite a few games in this set, so it should be a good, close series as well, though I do not know the outcome. I don't know the outcome at all, actually. I've not really been following, aside from watching the recorded games, which is often the best way to do it. I've just realised I need to update something. Age of Empires 2... update what game I'm playing, so people watching don't come for Life is Feudal now, they come for Age of Empires. Alright, so yeah, we'll have a look at their maps, see what it's all about, and actually get into the swing of things. It's been a little while since I casted a game. It's been like 4 or 5 days now, and it takes me a little while to get into it. So Slam's map doesn't look very great, to be honest. It looks fairly easily wallable, but his gold's in a pretty nasty position right at the front here, and of course that's never we don't want to see a forward gold. If we do see a forward gold, it could mean that we will see aggressive play by Slam, and in fact in the last series where he played against Mr. Yo, he didn't play that aggressively at all. Even when he had forward gold locations, he didn't play very aggressively, and that's really weird. I don't know why, but it worked out for him. And for instance, that game on Arabia with Mr. Yo in the first one, where Slam had a very forward gold location, and Mr. Yo just forwarded him, he managed to keep his cool, and even though he had a forward gold, he played defensively, and it ended up working out quite well. So Slam certainly got a lot of tricks up his sleeve, and certainly in good form at the moment. Of course, this really is a clash of the tyrants, because it is Tyrant Slam versus Tyrant BacT. So both of these guys, of course, are in the Tyrant team, and they are both incredibly good. And I wonder if the fact that they're both in the Tyrant team will have any bearing on how this is played. I don't know how often they practice together, and for them to be playing against each other might actually be a little bit weird for them, because they're so used to playing in big team games where they are supporting each other. So they're probably going to know each other quite well, and in fact they're probably going to know each other's playstyle quite well as well, which should lead to some pretty close games indeed, and that is certainly what I think is going to happen here anyway. So far, BacT have been luring in those deer, not wasted too much time scouting outside of his immediate area, but he's going to start looking now. Whether or not he decides to lure these back, I would be very surprised if he does. Of course, he's going to look for Slam, and he's going to look for Slam over in this far east location, which is, of course, the wrong place to look for Slam. Slam is all the way up to the north of the map at the moment. So Slam now looking for BacT as well, and we'll have a look at his Fog of War. Obviously, Slam with the score lead now, mostly due to that scouting, of course. And he's going to be keeping an eye out for BacT because, I mean, well, he's not going to be... Oh, he could be doing a drush, but it's a little bit late. It's not late to get the barracks out. He's not sent a villager to build the barracks yet. If he puts some barracks over here, that could be where he goes for it. But it looks like this will be his second lumber camp instead. That would certainly make more sense than putting a barracks over in this corner. So we're not going to see a drush from Slam. We will probably see a fairly fast feudal time, I imagine. He's got those 2 boars still under his TC, so a lot of food being held by these villagers here, and he'll do a pretty decent feudal time. Of course, getting Loom now. I'm not sure why he went for Loom just then. Obviously, it's usually best to get Loom right at the end of the Dark Age, but he got it a little bit sooner, which is interesting. Meanwhile, BacT putting up a barracks. He will be doing a drush, and there's 3 militia on the way out already for him. And BacT looping around the corner of the map there, looking to find Slam, and he's going to spot that villager out as well. So he's going to know exactly where Slam is, and wondering where the hell those villagers are going. That's a very far lumber camp, and like I was saying before, Slam's map not actually that great. He's not got any backwood, not any safe backwood. This is technically a backwood, I guess, but it's so far from the town centre it's hardly considered safe. And at the front of the TC, this wood is also very exposed. So Slam now building a barracks of his own. Of course, he's spotted out that barracks from Oh no, he's not actually. Wow, he's not spotted the barracks from Bajofro, but he's seen the militia, so he knows what's up. He knows what's coming in, and he's going to get that barracks up of his own. And he's actually starting to wall up pretty heavily here as well now. So he's going to get that barracks up. He'll probably go into. Well, I'm going to assume he's going to go into scouts. But he may decide to go straight into archers because he's going to be up against militia. And militia die a lot more quickly to archers than they do to scouts. And well, scouts are generally, because they have to get up close, the militia can get hits in. Whereas with archers, you can micromanage them so that you can stay out of range of the militia. So if Slam goes for feudal, a feudal building in a second, I think it could be an archery range, but judging by this wall, I'm going to safely assume he's going to go for a stable. If I'm wrong, I don't know, but I feel like with him walling this gold out, it's going to be too risky for him to put an archery range up now and make skirmishes, like especially against militia. If BacT upgrades these to man-at-arms, then that's going to, of course, make it a little bit more difficult. So we're going to see a stable from Slam after all, and he's not going to take that gold and go for archers, which is unfortunate because that would have been a better option for him, I feel. Making archers is generally a little bit better off the bat, especially against militia, but without being able to secure this gold, it's too exposed for him and too risky for him to make that option. So Slam's done a pretty big wall on this right side, but the scouts are on the way out now as well. He'll need a couple more to actually push this away, but he should be able to defend for now. I mean, I like the way he's walled this, walling this right side, walling this left side, making a choke point through his TC. And it's going to be difficult for Bajofro to get in. And as someone in the chat rightly said, it is quite a big wall, but it's not huge. I mean, he could be doing a much larger wall. If we look at Bajofro, he's got a bigger walling to do on this left-hand side. And he's also walling up this top as well. So all in all, I'd say Slam's probably done less walling in total. And at the moment, Slam's just going to deal with this rush, which is, for Bajofro, very ineffective so far. I'm surprised that... Whoa... Wow, 1 HP left on that scout cavalry. I was going to say, I'm surprised that Slam didn't bring that scout back there, but he didn't need to. He judged it like an absolute boss, and I think that's pretty well done by him. Now, obviously, the downside for Slam here is with these scouts, they're already pretty weak. They're going to die incredibly quickly to any spearman at all that Bajofro makes. And although we've not seen although we've not seen a spearman yet from Bajofro, you can probably bet there's one or two going to be on the way out once he spots these scouts. But interestingly enough, Bajofro holding himself up in his base, archery range, blacksmith, and straight up to the castle age. Interesting play by Bajofro. He is completely walled in now, and I am interested to see if this is going to pay off for him. Obviously, by doing a fast castle on this kind of map, you open yourself up very widely well, you give your opponent a lot of map control. You open yourself up to harassment. And, I mean, Bajofro's hardly got a big area of the map here. I mean, it fits up on my entire screen. And this is what he's walled himself into. So, interesting stuff. Spearman out for Bajofro now. And it's a bit out of position. Slam, of course, will hit this lumber camp a little bit. Or not this lumber camp, this gold camp even. And Bajofro will, I imagine, start making some archers. But he's a little slow to do that. He wants to hold off, it seems. Which is surprising. I think what he wants to do here, by the looks of things, is go straight into cavalry archers without making a single archer. And that's a real risky play, because you're giving your the opportunity for your opponent to really build a lot of military in the meantime. There's an archer coming out, though, at long last, and the spearman getting into the corner of the map as well. Slam probably not going to be able to pull off too much more villager harassment now. Not with that spearman in the mix. That will, of course, clean up the rest of these scouts. And if the scout does decide to go for a villager attack, the villagers will just turn around and kill it as well. Looks like that scout's going to die to the TC anyway now. 1 HP left, and it's dead. Slam, nothing left at all in Bajofro's base. Very well defended indeed. So, Slam walling up quite heavily, and I'm not sure what he's doing with these walls, but they're really awkward. Look at this. This walling is terrible. I mean, sure, he's not really got much more options of where to wall, but walling this left side, walling here, walling across here, and then here. It's just like such a massive wall to do, and he's run out of stone now as well, so he can't even finish the wall off, and he's having to build a mining camp at the back of his base so that he can take some stone. So Slam in a bit of an awkward position where he's probably going to try and go up to the castle edge himself now and not put any extra pressure onto BacT at all. BacT probably in a better position overall at the moment, as he's about to hit the castle edge, and of course he's done quite a lot of damage to Slam's eco simply by turtling and causing Slam to build all of those stone walls, waste that villager time, and spend that stone, which, let's look at BacT's stone. He hasn't spent anything at all. So it seems to me like, yeah, BacT is going to switch straight back into, or straight into cavalry archers. He's only got one archer out, so it makes sense that he didn't want to make any archers here. Of course, if he'd have made a bunch of archers, he'd have to then upgrade them to crossbow, and crossbows are still weaker than cavalry archers anyway. So it makes more sense for BacT to just hold off and start making cavalry archers as soon as he can, and taking advantage of the fact that they're stronger and cheaper to produce for the Huns. So it looks to me that Slam is going to be pretty defended for now, simply by having the stone walls here. And I mean, I don't get me wrong, I don't blame him for walling like this. I'm just saying it's an incredibly weird wall to do. Of course, that will secure him this gold over here, which is, of course, all good. But if BacT comes forwards with a villager, which I think he is doing, we will see a siege workshop on the front. And that could be a real problem for Slam, because it's unlikely that he's going to be able to get a siege workshop in time to actually make a counter mangonel to whatever BacT is making here. It could be a ram, it could be a mangonel. In fact, I think a ram or a mangonel would both suffice. I think a mangonel would be better, as we've got Slam making archers already, and the mangonel could hit villagers behind the wall as well. But this is looking really bad for Slam at the moment, actually. It's looking pretty gnarly for him, as he's clicked up to the castle age and he's on 20%. But BacT, mangonel coming out, and he's already going to have that mangonel out by the time that Slam even gets up to the castle age. So this is looking really awkward, and of course Slam might be forced to try and wall behind this, in which case he will lose more villagers. And of course BacT just focusing down the barracks, because it is the weakest link in this wall as well. So looking good for BacT at the moment. He's not going to stable up yet, so we're not seeing bloodlines coming in. What we will see, however, is crossbows straight away from Slam. And he'll try and get those that tech up as quickly as possible. BacT going to come in with the mangonel now, though, and see if he can pick off some villagers. Doesn't look like Slam's going to let him get away with that, though. Slam going to move over to the right side and maybe even build a mining camp over here after all, which would be very good indeed. But yeah, that's denied Slam's gold entirely. BacT looking very good at the moment, and now he's just going to focus down on this barracks and wait until he can get it down, until he can eventually go into Slam's base and really make or take advantage of the cavalry archers that he's got here. Not seeing any of Bodkin arrow coming in for BacT yet, and I'm surprised that we're not seeing that. Obviously, these cavalry archers are well from being upgraded fully at the moment, but BacT's economy is pretty weak. I mean, he's doing 3 cavalry archers at a time off of 1 town centre. He's got very little resources left over for anything else, but to be honest with you, I don't blame him. He just wants to do the damage as best he can, and it's going to be very difficult for Slam to out-micro 2 mangonels as well. So this is going to be very difficult for Slam. The walls are breached, and Slam is on the defensive. He's putting up a tower right outside of this TC, and obviously Slam's already spent a lot of stone on walls. Now he's spending it on a tower as well, and we're not going to see that. Oh no, we are seeing a second TC from Slam straight away. So fortunately for Slam, he is able to get that second TC up and actually secure himself some gold. So this walling has been a little bit out of the way, but it's certainly been worth it, because he's now still able to keep that gold coming in, which BacT might assume that he is simply denied at this stage. So at the moment, BacT still has a huge advantage. Slam has got the +1 defense, but these crossbows are still weaker than the cavalry archers. 35 HP versus 50. It's a very big difference. And Slam now putting up a siege workshop of his own, because he knows that he cannot engage these 2 mangonels without having a siege workshop of his own. So yeah, Slam really needs to pull something out here, as he's losing this archery range on the front as well, and that is costly, because he's going to have to rebuild that. That's going to cost him even more wood, and Slam's wood at the moment is not looking good anyway. It's not like he's got a lot of wood coverage here. He's got certainly a lot less lumber camps than, or lumberjacks than Bad Geoffro has. We have a quick look. We've got 14 lumberjacks for Slam, 24 for Bad Geoffro. He's got an extra 10 villagers on wood, and he needs them because he needs that wood for those cavalry archers. He needs that wood for the mangonels, and he will need that wood, of course, for that second and third TC, which, by the way, are going to be coming up very soon because that third TC is not too far now as Bad Geoffro starts taking some stone on the front. So Bad Geoffro is really storming ahead, and I would not be surprised if Bad Geoffro goes on to take this game from here. Slam is incredibly far behind, but Slam looking to make a play, bringing in this mangonel. Bad Geoffro not going to get out of the way in time, and Slam will retreat this mangonel back to the hill. He's now got a mangonel advantage, and with that, he could pull something out of the bag. Bad Geoffro not got bloodlines on these cavalry archers, so that lack of that extra 20 HP, he's at 50 instead of 70. That could be huge if Slam can get a couple of mangonel shots out and actually damage them massively. Once that bloodlines upgrade comes in, it's going to be much more difficult for Slam to pull that damage off and finish these cavalry archers, because obviously if you can get 2 mangonel shots down, he'll kill them very quickly. If he doesn't kill them, then they'll be very weak, and the crossbows can finish them off. But if that bloodlines upgrade gets done, the mangonel will do just over half damage, and then the crossbows are still going to have a tough time. If you think about it, 70 HP, you hit it with the mangonel, it's going to take it down to 30 HP. That's right, isn't it? Hang on, 40, 50, sorry, it's going to take it down to 20 HP, which is still not that far off what a crossbow would have, especially considering they have the extra attack as well. So I'm thinking at the moment that Bad Geoffro is in a perfect position for now. What's Bad Geoffro going to do, though? Well, he's building up a stable back at home. He's still got the siege workshop on the front, but Slam, in quite a risky move, putting this town centre up on the front now. And that's a really interesting location, actually. That is so risky because it's at the bottom of a hill. Well, actually, it's not quite at the bottom of a hill. I think, though, if the mangonel was here, it would get a hill advantage. But this mangonel could hit that TC quite easily. It's just wide open. And I'm surprised that Bad Geoffro isn't going in here and trying to do some damage. He's got a huge army advantage, and he's not taking taking advantage of that. He's not pushing in at all. He has done Bodkin Arrow now, but that makes the upgrades even overall. And that TC is going to go straight up for Slam. Did lose a villager there, but that's going to be pretty impressive for him, actually. I can't believe that. Bad Geoffro just let that town centre go up, and he moved in just as the town centre was completed. Slam now, counter-attack coming in on this left-hand side. He's not killed any villagers yet, but he will be straight through these walls. And in fact, he did kill one villager. The villager building the university. The university will not be completed, and Bad Geoffro will perhaps have his walls breached by these crossbows on this left-hand side. But Bad Geoffro quick to dispatch these cavalry archers right back, and Slam now left in peace to continue to rebuild and get his economy booming. Both of them up to 3 TCs. We've got Slam with 2 TCs on gold and 1 TC out in the open, of course, that initial TC. And we've got Bad Geoffro with 1 TC on gold, 1 TC out in the open, and the second TC, third TC even at the start location. So Slam really focusing on protecting that gold at the moment. But look at this. His crossbows are going to get absolutely pummeled, and there's no chance that they are going to survive this one. They are simply too weak, as Bad Geoffro also gets that Bloodlines upgrade done as well. So these cavalry archers, Bloodlines plus 2 attack and range, that's pretty potent, and that's also much more than Slam has on his at the moment as well. So Bad Geoffro in the position to do a lot of damage here, but he's not taking those opportunities, it seems. It seems like he's very unwilling to push in and actually try and raid Slam's economy. I mean, he patrolled over here for so long when he could have gone in, picked off some villagers on this stone. He could have got into the back here, started attacking villagers on these farms. He could have come even further in and started picking off villagers on this wood line, which, by the way, is horribly micromanaged at the moment. Slam, a lot of idle villagers here, and that is, of course, because he doesn't have many other options of where to take wood for now. But the fight on the hill, and Bad Geoffro going to take down those 2 mangonels very, very quickly indeed. Didn't see if that was with his cavalry archers or if it was with his own mangonel. But Bad Geoffro here, again, should be engaging. He had the equal numbers compared to what Slam had. And he's also got the upgrade advantage, but he's unwilling to just fight one-on-one here. And I'm surprised, because he should do that, I feel. He's got the advantage he needs to clean this army up from Slam. Of course, he doesn't want to fight under this tower. He would not want to do that, but if he was fighting over here, which is where the fight was taking place, then he could have very easily cleaned up these cavalry archers, I feel. He's got a superior army. He's got a bigger mass as well. But Slam really wants to get rid of the siege workshop at the front. And of course, that's understandable. He doesn't want the siege bearing down upon his base. But Bad Joffrey's got something to say about that. He's going to come up to the top of the hill, I think, and try and kill off some of these villagers attacking this siege workshop. Oh, Mangonel's coming out, popping out there, killing a couple of villagers very quickly. And this siege workshop will survive for now. Bad Joffrey, a good idea here would be a ram to take down the siege, the watchtower perhaps, and even aid in this fight, this cavalry archer fight here. But yeah, Bad Joffrey +2 attack and defense, bloodlines done, compared to the +2, +1 without bloodlines for Slam. So Bad Joffrey has the advantage, but he's really unwilling, it seems, to push in here. Finally making the move, but retreating as well, as he doesn't want to sit under this tower, which is obviously understandable. So finally we're seeing a ram coming out. It's about time, because Slam really doesn't have an answer to rams anyway. Aside from Mangonels, he's not really going to have anything to take the rams down easily, and this ram will take the tower down pretty quickly as well. So once that tower's down, Bad Joffrey can sit back on the hill again. Meanwhile though, he's going to take down this farm on the right side incredibly quickly, and harass this a little bit, which is really nice. So it looks like this tower is going to stay up for now. I was going to say it might have gone down, but no. Slam repairing. Another ram being built, though. That ram will not be so successful, as there is a Mangonel right behind this and villagers coming in to attack it straight away. But Bad Joffrey is going to move in from the side. The ram will go down, I think, but the tower will stay up, and Bad Joffrey just going to get in here, try and take down this Mangonel as quickly as he can, but he's fighting uphill, and he's losing quite a few cavalry archers to this. Meanwhile, he's on the right side as well, taking out some villagers on this expansion of Slam's base, and Slam really struggling to get in some safe wood at the moment. I'm surprised he's not gone for the wood back here. I know it's a long way, but at least it's protected by the stone wall at the front. And Bad Joffrey splitting his army up, getting a little bit of eco-harassment done, and he might even be able to pick off a couple more villagers in this wood line if Slam isn't paying enough attention, which seems unlikely. But Slam now padding out his army with some elite skirms as well. He's finally got +2/+2, waiting for Bad Joffrey to pull something off with this Mangonel, but it's not going to happen. He's throwing away the siege at the moment, which is really unfortunate to see from him. And we've got a university now up for Slam as well, which means potentially ballistics coming in very soon. If not ballistics, then he will just simply wait until he can get that. Well, he's got a siege workshop already, so yeah, he'll wait until he gets the resources for Imperial. But I think ballistics will be on the way shortly. Of course, Bad Joffrey already has got ballistics done, and he's just finished off handcart as well. So Bad Joffrey now in a good position. The question is, who will go up to the Imperial Age first? I'm going to put my money on Bad Joffrey, but we will see about that. We will see. He's certainly got much more military, it seems. He's got, what, Slam's got 8 cavalry archers and 12 ranged units. Bad Joffrey has 36 cavalry archers. He's definitely got the larger mass of cavalry archers here, and he's certainly looking pretty good at the moment. Another TC going up right on the front. And it seems like Bad Joffrey likes to do that. Last time I saw him play, he was building TCs right outside of his enemy's base, just because he could, which is always fun. Now, this army composition is still looking better for Bad Joffrey. Skirmishes involved in here as well, but I feel like the Mangonel is the better option in this situation. The Mangonel will take down the skirmishes in one single hit, which is obviously much better in comparison to the. It's better in comparison to the cavalry archers that will simply withstand an entire Mangonel hit once they've got bloodlines done, or even without bloodlines, obviously depending on the hill bonus. So Slam coming out at the front, building a castle. Bad Joffrey again doesn't want to move in. He's making a move now, it seems. No, he's going to go back. What's he doing? Man, Bad Joffrey needs to push in. He's going to see that castle, but it's too late. And Slam's going to get that straight up. No problem for Slam whatsoever. And Bad Jofro once again going to lose a little bit more ground as Slam gets that castle well up in time. And Bad Jofro just misses out once again. Obviously, Slam taking a risk with this TC, taking a risk with this castle, and Bad Jofro in both instances was just out of sight, just out of range. He's putting up a castle of his own now as well on this left-hand side. Interesting stuff. But interestingly enough, Slam's actually up to the Imperial Age first. I'm surprised. I am very surprised. 37, 38, 39... 40% for Slam and 12% for Bad Jofro, which means Slam will have the advantage going up to the Imperial Age. I'm honestly surprised at that because Bad Jofro, much more population, and he doesn't have that much more military at this stage in time. It's still in favour of Bad Jofro in terms of military, but he certainly doesn't have 40 more military than Slam at this stage. So Bad Jofro has certainly got the bigger economy. Certainly got the better economy for now, and he's got the map control as well, which is a really good position to be in as you're going up to Imperial. Now Slam does know about this castle here, so he'll probably get a this is looking good. I was going to say Slam will probably get a Treb out straight away, but Slam building up those Tarkans, and this wouldn't be the first time we've seen this strategy. We've seen Mr. Yo pull this one off as well. Tarkans make or build incredibly quickly. I think they take something like, what, 13 or 12 seconds or something like that. They don't take very long at all. And the Tarkan's coming out now for Slam. He's bringing out the big guns. But Bad Jofro forced his way in on this left side. Slam got another castle up on the hill, though. And we're going to see more Tarkans from him by the looks of it, which is exciting. Problem is, he can't afford the Elite Tarkan upgrade straight away. He also can't afford a Trebuchet straight away. But that's not too much of a problem for him, I guess. And the Blacksmith... we are seeing chain barding armor, so Slam needs to get a couple of those upgrades in still, but these Tarkans could be very interesting indeed. It's definitely an interesting turn of events. They do have decent pierce armor, so they could potentially deal with Bad Jofro's army if they fight one-on-one. Meanwhile though, Slam pushing out across the map, harassing these little gold piles across the map that Bad Jofro has claimed, and Bad Jofro himself getting up a castle, but we're not seeing any Tarkans from Bad Jofro. Oh no, we're just seeing pure cavalry archers, because they are even cheaper now he's in the Imperial Age, which is very, very strong indeed. Bad Jofro then, quite a few rams out, but we're not seeing capture ram yet. Oh no, we are 50%. It's in this siege workshop here, and Bad Jofro seems like he wants to ram rush down these castles, which is actually an interesting way of doing it. You might also be wondering why Slam has built this gate here. It is probably to stop a ram rush coming in from this direction, making it much harder for Bad Jofro to get his rams around the castle. If he can't attack on this side, then he'll have to go around the back or around here, and that's going to make it much more easy for Slam to attack the rams with, or in fact any units that come in at all. Interesting stuff. Bad Jofro straight up with the heavy cavalry archer upgrade. He's done bracer as well, waiting for that +4 defense, but Trebuchet war going on for now. Bad Jofro, does he see the Tarkans? He does not yet. Oh no, he does see the Tarkans. He sees them around the Trebuchet. But this should be a really interesting fight for now. Bad Jofro on the right side though could run straight through this TC into the underbelly of Slam's economy. Slam's economy here spread quite away, and he's obviously focusing on farms for these Tarkans, which obviously takes up a lot of space as well. So Bad Jofro at the moment still with a huge score lead, which is very impressive. Slam though is going to take this castle down, and excuse me while I have a quick drink, my throat is already hurting me, which is not good. And wow, Bad Jofro pushing in with these cap rams now, and this is actually really interesting because Slam is massively outnumbered. He's got so few Tarkans here. He needs a lot more than this, I'm sure. Let's have a look. He's got the Elite Tarkan upgrade done. He's got +4 defense, but we are seeing siege rams from Bad Jofro now, so he's going to start taking this castle down pretty quickly. Even though he's attacking the gate, it will still go down very quickly. And the Tarkans here looking like they're going to get cut down very quickly as well. There's simply too many heavy cavalry archers on this hill here, and although Slam is focusing down those rams, the castle will fall, and the rams will move onto the watchtower that's behind it. These cavalry archers making very short work of the Tarkans. There's simply way too many of them. And Bad Geofro now on 191 population, Slam on 145, and that's the GG from Slam right there. I am not surprised at all that he called the GG there. I don't know what he was thinking going Tarkans. If you're going Tarkans, you need the speed advantage. You need to catch your opponent off guard by getting up really quickly in comparison, being able to pump them out quickly and start raiding their economies as fast as you can. But once your opponent gets heavy cavalry archer, once they get all of those upgrades in, and once they have a mass like that, doesn't matter if you've got elite Tarkan or not, they are going to die very quickly. And those rams from Bad Geofro just couldn't be dealt with fast enough at all. And meanwhile, Bad Geofro just raiding Slam's economy at the back here, and Bad Geofro as well, pretty much untouched in his economy all game, to be honest. He had a really strong game there. He had a very strong game, and Slam just kind of on the back foot for the entirety of it, to be honest with you. From the Castle Age onwards, when Bad Geofro fast castled, that was a very difficult time for Slam, and he was really unable to gain a whole lot of map control for the rest of it. So very, very well played by Bad Geofro. That will make the series 1-0, and of course this is a best of 7, so still plenty more games to come. So I'm going to come out and we'll go to game number 2 in just a moment.